Again, Johnny Hub here, and today I will continue reacting to an MSA video, My Story Anime video, 10 Steps to Get Rid of Your Crazy BF, episode 1. So, I'm still gonna finish this whole video. So let's get this video started in 3, 2, 1, play.
I orchestrated an irresistibly romantic date at Rochester High Falls, Luke's cherished spot. I prepared the scene and it looked spectacular. I stood there, admiring my masterpiece. This must have been how Billie Eilish felt when she composed Bad Guy. My plan wasn't complete without the final touch. Two mysterious and alluring letters, one for Luke and one for Moon. That evening, they both arrived thinking the other had organized the date. I should have respected their privacy and left, but I sneaked a peek at the date and sat in a nearby grove with popcorn and soda. It seemed like they were still too shy to make the big move. Just as I was about to fall asleep, Moon slowly moved nearer to Luke's lips. The excitement was so intense that I could feel it moving through my body, particularly in my ankle. In my ankle? I looked at my leg and saw a raccoon clinging to my ankle. Freaked out, I totally lost it. I sprang from the bushes just in time to disrupt their big moment.
Alice, what are you doing here?
Oh, hi! Just taking a walk.
Around the falls? Alone? At night?
Well, you know what they say, when nature calls. Don't judge me. That's the best I could come up with. Alice, this isn't what it seems.
We were just...
Their embarrassment and guilt were clear.
I'm sorry.
They clearly felt terrible, and I felt even worse. It was entirely my fault. It was time to tell the truth. You don't have to feel guilty. I orchestrated the entire thing.
What?
You? Yeah. I couldn't help but notice the magic connection between you two. This is my strange way of giving you my wholehearted blessing. Well, at least I told them part of the truth. For a brief moment, Luke and Moon exchanged puzzled glances, and Luke turned to give me an earful. However, after what felt like an eternity, they both enveloped me in a hug simultaneously.
Alice, I can't believe you'd do something like this. You could have just spoken to me. And I'm sorry. I tried to fight these feelings.
No need to apologize. The heart wants what the heart wants. Are you sure you're okay with this? Absolutely. You two are meant for each other. I'll step aside and let you enjoy the rest of your date. I walked away swiftly, but before I got too far, I turned back to see them finally sharing their first kiss. Well, you could have at least waited for me to leave. Just kidding. Carry on. This may appear like the happily ever after ending, doesn't it? But believe me, there are still some more fireworks to discover. My grand plan had succeeded. Moon was perfect for Luke, and they were really happy. However, sometime later, I started to feel increasingly sad. While I was genuinely thrilled for them, a feeling of loneliness began to take over me. Eventually, I decided to share with my dad my deepest fear. Dad, what if I never experienced those fireworks?
Alice, just like music, love has its own tempo. It won't come if you're expecting it. But trust me, sooner or later, your moment will come.
But what if I end up with a broken heart, like you when Mom left us?
That can happen. Love is not perfect, but believe me, it's still worth it.
After that, I decided to give the whole love thing a rest. I just focused on school, my friends, and of course, music. For several months, everything went smoothly. Surprisingly, my dad was right about love. My moment was bound to come just when I least expected it.
Boys and girls, we have a new exchange student, this time from Italy. This is Camillo.
And that was it. Boom, boom, boom! Just like my dad had predicted, my moment to feel the fireworks had arrived, and it came on strong when Camilo strolled into the classroom. I couldn't take my eyes off of him. And to be fair, no one else in the class could either. He was so irresistible. Incredibly handsome, cool, stylishly dressed, and smart. My dad tried to get him to sing a song to introduce himself, but Camilo instead recited a poem in Italian. I didn't understand anything. I was too captivated by him.
Ah, right. It's a very lovely and romantic poem. Not really. It's about what hell is like.
Marry me. I knew I had to beat out tons of other girls to win his heart, but if there was one thing I was truly confident about, it was my matchmaking skills. Game on. During lunch, I went up to him. He was sitting by himself, with all the girls gazing at him from afar, too mesmerized to strike up a conversation. I wasn't like the other girls. Hi there. What's cooking, good looking? Not my best pickup line, I know.
Hi, you.
Alice.
Oh, right, Alicia.
Already? My name, or a variation of it, coming out of his mouth made me shiver. What are you reading?
Robert Frost.
Oh, he's the one who invented frosting? Because if so, I want to congratulate him.
No, he was one of America's most renowned poets.
I felt like my confidence had crumbled like a house of cards. I guess I'm more of a takeout menu reader. Camilo shot me this weird smile and went back to his book. I left feeling defeated and humiliated, all while the surrounding girls erupted into laughter. Still, I wasn't gonna give up so easily. You guys know I can be very stubborn. Over the next few days, I did everything I could to get Camilo's attention and interest. So, you're a photographer?
Yeah.
Me too. I love selfies. And when I thought I couldn't get any lower, Camilo, I wrote you a poem.
Oh, okay.
Twinkle, twinkle in your eyes, like the stars in moonlit skies. In your arms, I feel so right, like a star that's shining bright. He rested his hand on my shoulder with secondhand embarrassment.
That was very sweet.
What was I thinking? Are we going or not? The most stunning gothic girl was walking towards Camilo.
Sure thing, Bella.
They just walked away while my hope lay shattered on the floor. After the humiliation of a lifetime, I crawled home and locked myself in my own room for days. Is this karma for not loving Luke back? Unwelcome love is horrible. Why didn't anyone tell me? I decided to never leave my room again. But Luke and Moon swooped in to save the day. Alice, what are you doing?
We were worried about you. You haven't been to school for days.
And I'm not going back. I'm officially a hermit now.
Come on, Alice. You can't give up so easily.
What else can I do? He's too cool and smart for me. And he clearly has a thing for goth girls. Wow.
One of the early challenges I had was making sure I sounded confident and qualified in the emails I was sending at work. But that's what
Well, maybe that can be arranged. Moon showed me the flyer for a costume party happening the next day at school. Maybe this wasn't quite over yet. The following day, I visited Moon's house for the first time for a unique makeover session. She was determined to transform me, and after an intense half hour of makeup and dressing, I emerged as a whole new person. Camilo will be head over heels for you. After a while, I headed downstairs to her kitchen to grab a glass of water. Moon's house was massive and a bit eerie, with dim lighting and an unsettling silence. As I turned the corner, I bumped into a tall, mysterious guy. I let out a scream of surprise. Who are you? I'm Alice, Moon's friend. I glared at him. He was wearing a suit, like a gangster from a lousy movie.
I'm Quan, Moon's big brother.
Oh, right.
Why are you dressed like that?
We're going to a costume party.
A costume party? So childish.
You're like just a year older than us. Besides, you look like you're dressed up too.
Whatever, just watch where you're going, kid.
Kid? Just then, Moon showed up, probably after hearing my screams. When I turned to face him, Quan had already disappeared down the dark hall. What? Why are you smiling? You know, your brother is a real piece of work. Aha. Moon acted weird. I think that runs in their family. Shortly after, we left for their party. Luke, dressed as a mad scientist, welcomed us.
Alice, you look like you just stepped right out of a dark and mysterious fairy tale. Great job, baby.
Thanks, baby. Alice, Camilo's there. Go do your thing, girl. Thank you, guys. I took a deep breath and walked towards Camilo, who was dancing with his friend. Of course, he was too cool to wear a costume. With a boost of confidence from my outfit, I saluted them. Hello, my fellow creatures of the night.
Alice, what are you wearing?
Tonight, I embrace the shadows. I'm a goth. Being a goth is not a costume, you phony. It's a lifestyle. I'm sorry, I didn't mean, of course you didn't. You are just a little suburban princess who gets whatever she wants, playing dress up, and the way Camilo looked at me, that hurt more than any malicious comment. Once again, I was humiliated. For the rest of the party, I hid in the halls of the school. How could I be so stupid?
Should I respond?
I looked up and saw Quan. What are you even doing here? I thought you were too fierce for a costume party.
I am. I'm just here to pick up Moon.
I just got her text. She already left with Luke.
Oh, okay.
Quan leaned his back against the lockers.
Rough night?
That's an understatement.
So, do you want me to take you home, or would you rather stay here crying?
What? These are not tears.
Don't try to tell me you got something in your eye. Come on, let's go.
I was shocked. He was rude, definitely, but not that bad. Quan held out his hand for me to stand up. As I was getting up, our eyes met. Time stood still. Electricity. And yeah, it happened again. Boom, boom. boom, boom.
What, did you hit your head or something?
No, it's just that, I don't know. Forget about it. I'm fine.
If you say so.
As Quan drove me home, I kept looking at him out of the corner of my eye the whole trip. I was spellbound. I tried to strike up a conversation with Quan, but he didn't pay much attention to me. So, tell me about yourself.
Pass.
Come on, what do you like?
Silence.
Clearly, Quan was not very interested in getting to know me. Soon after, he dropped me home. I couldn't believe it. After years of dreaming about those fireworks feelings, I finally got them. Twice in 1 week. Plot twist, both guys are just not that into me. This was obviously karma. It was Cupid's way of getting back at me. Destiny laughing in my face. Or maybe it was just my teenage hormones. I hate my life. But what I didn't know was that Moon hadn't left the party when Quan arrived. In fact, she was in the bathroom and saw and heard my entire conversation with her brother. Although Quan didn't notice my fireworks explosion, Moon did, and decided it was her turn to play Cupid. Moon started finding excuses and forcing situations for Quan and me to spend time together. She would invite me to her house, but when I arrived, she wasn't there. Is Moon home?
For the 4th time this week, she's not.
Despite how Quan acted like he didn't care, Moon was determined to make it happen. She even locked us in an escape room. I guess we're gonna have to solve this to get out. This could take a while.
The key is under that armchair.
Oh, right. Then, Moon planned a movie date with Quan and me, and then left us. Yeah, she used my own little scheme against me. We got into the wrong screening room and ended up watching a children's movie. This is so boring. Wait, are you crying?
No, I'm not. You're crying.
OMG, you are!
Shut up. It's just a beautiful tale of friendship between a duck and a shark.
After that, he started talking to me, and slowly, I understood that his whole bad boy facade was simply a shield Quan put up when he moved here to cope with this unknown and new place. He actually could be really kind and sweet. One day, Moon set up a sort of double date with me and Luke and dragged Quan quite literally into a bowling alley. The evening turned out to be an absolute blast. We enjoyed some good food, sent those bowling pins flying, and shared laughs like there was no tomorrow. Quan even dropped his tough guy persona and had an amazing time. I felt that slowly, we two were growing closer.
Great strike, Alice.
Thanks, I learned from the best.
I didn't know I was the best.
Who says I was talking about you? The only problem was that Luke found out what Moon was doing, and he wasn't too happy about it and cornered me.
Alice, Quan's not right for you. He once told me,
If you hurt my sister, I'll turn your hair pink.
and he walks around in sunglasses indoors too. And don't even get me started on his weird spoons collection. Did you see the massive plastic Too Fancy spoons display in his room? I'm just worried you'll end up hurt.
But I wasn't very convinced. And then the next day, as we were preparing for our band rehearsal, Luke arrived with a surprise visitor.
Camilo came to rehearsal, if you girls don't mind.
If looks could kill, Luke would be dead now. Oh, that's why you said not to bring Quan.
We'll talk later, baby. I tell you, man, we have the best drummer in town.
So, he has decided to play matchmaker too.
Go on then.
During our practice, I was super nervous, way more than usual. But then Camilo did some really nice things that made me feel a lot better. I think I did pretty good in the end.
That was great, Alice. I didn't know you were so talented.
Thanks. That made me melt, literally, right there on the spot. For the next few weeks, I was caught in a love triangle with Quan and Camilo, and tangled in a dispute between friends. I felt bad, but chose to go with the flow, hoping to solve the puzzle of my heart. But things turned into some kind of competition between them, and in order to win, they went big. Luke orchestrated a fantastic carnival date for Camilo and me. Amidst the chaos, we laughed, won games, and feasted on cotton candy. I even won him a huge stuffed animal.
Thanks. Elephants are my favorite animal.
I'm more of a grizzly bear girl, but elephants are pretty cool. Then, Camilo and I rode on an intense roller coaster in an odd moment of calm. Before the car sped off again, Camilo pulled out his camera and took a picture of me. What are you doing?
I want to capture this moment forever.
That was one of the most magical and romantic nights of my life. For her part, Moon convinced Quan to take me to his favorite spot, a haven he had never taken anyone.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about the cut audio video. Let's get started again in 3, 2, 1, play.
To before. It was a dark and murky place. Quan led the way, nodding to some guys. All eyes eyes were on me, so I tried my hardest to copy his attitude. Needless to say, I failed. Quan, we are too young to be here.
Relax. What is life without a little risk?
Right, but maybe this is a little too dangerous? Okay, I admit it. I was scared, but you would be too if you saw those people there. It looked like the whole cast of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Don't worry, Alice. I know the owner and most of the guys. They are cool.
Quan took my hand, and not only did I feel safer, but I was also ecstatic. The rest of the night turned out to be surprisingly amazing. Everybody was fun and welcoming. Quan revealed his secret technique to cheat in poker, and an energetic punk band put on a spectacular show. Hours later, we watched the sunrise on the hood of his car at the highest point of the city. Hey, okay, I hear you all yelling, pick a lane, girl. But come on, deciding between Camilo and Quan is like choosing between chocolate and vanilla when you love both. It's driving me nuts too. It was impossible. Like Camilo wrote and recited to me in an open reading the most beautiful poem I had ever heard. But then Quan got us the chance to play our first gig in the same place he took me. Clueless of what to do, I turned to the greatest source of wisdom I knew, my dad. Okay, yes, I was truly desperate. Dad, is it possible to be in love with two people at the same time? My dad took a deep breath before answering.
Alice, time has taught me not to put any limits on love. Love can be many different things. It constantly mutates, so maybe it is possible.
And what should I do? I can't date two people at the same time.
No, you have to be mature and thoughtful. Take care of your feelings, but also those of others.
But I don't know how to decide this.
If you are stuck in this situation, you might not be ready for love. Maybe the best thing to do now is to focus on yourself.
And it wasn't very helpful. Maybe my dad wasn't the fountain of wisdom I thought he was. Before you guys go off in the comments, I know this is like the best kind of problem any girl my age could have. For days, I ignored both Camilo and Quan, but finally, the day of the concert arrived. Surprisingly, I was pretty calm. Well, that was until I saw both Quan and Camilo in the audience. At that moment, all my fears surfaced and I completely panicked. I couldn't face it and locked myself in the dressing room's bathroom.
Alice, what are you doing?
We have to go on stage in 5 minutes. I can't do it. This is all too much pressure. After failing to convince me to go out, Moon and Luke took it out on each other. Why did you invite Camilo? This was Quan's moment. He got us the gig.
And Camilo can't be here? He's really supportive of the band too.
Why are you doing this? What do you have against my brother?
He thinks he's a Yakuza or something like that.
And my brother is a great guy.
But he's not good enough for Alice.
And Camilo is? He's so pretentious. I was listening to their fight behind the bathroom door. It was like I had traveled back in time and they were my parents. I had to put an end to all this chaos. I gathered my strength and opened the door. Stop! This ends now. You can't be fighting over my love life. That doesn't make any sense.
But
no buts. We were just trying to help you, like you helped us. I know, but it just doesn't feel right. I was wrong. Love should be spontaneous and free. Not something we try to control and mold to fit our convenience. It's my life and I can make my choices. You're right.
we're sorry. I'm sorry, Moony Toony.
I am too, Lukey Doofy. That's really sweet. But for now, enough with the cheesy stuff. We've got a show to give. The room was silent and expectant when we got on stage. The air was tense, but we were ready. Hello, we are Cupid and his broken arrows. Are you ready to rock?
Let's do this!
1, 2, 3, 4. The show was incredible. To be up on stage playing our music was a life-changing moment. There, I felt everything. Electricity, adrenaline, nervousness, and fireworks. And I can proudly say that it was the first of many shows. As for the guys, I decided to follow the advice of my father, who, as always, was right. I wasn't ready for love, and I didn't want to risk hurting them. I took them aside individually and told them the truth. Luckily, they both understood, or at least I think they did. I decided that I should focus on my first love, music, and that would pay off big time. Cupid! Cupid! Cupid!
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Well, it's a good thing you are, because this is Cupid and his broken arrows!
Oh, hi guys. Yeah, as you can see, a lot has happened since the last time we chatted. Where were we? Oh yes, after our first show at that shabby place, Luke, Moon, and I promised to do everything we could to get to the top of the music world. First, we decided to go on tour. We rented an old van and set off on the road to our dreams. Well, at first, it was looking more like a nightmare than a dream. Not exactly the Four Seasons. Tell me there's no cockroaches. I can't sleep here if there are cockroaches. Of course not, Moon. Maybe just some 8-legged roommates, but I'm sure they're very friendly.
The top bed's mine.
Those first few weeks were challenging and scary, but Luke, Moon, and I stuck closer than ever. Sometimes literally. Relax, guys. Nothing bad ever happens to teenagers in horror movies, right? Initially, our gigs were confined to really small and quiet venues. Good night. We are Cupid and his broken arrows. Yeah, there were literally more crickets than people, but slowly, people caught wind of our shows. Our songs started popping up everywhere, and we gathered a group of loyal fans. It wasn't an overnight thing, but somehow we became kind of famous. However, the sudden fame had its downsides. The biggest downside of them all was him. That's Trevor, our manager. He discovered us when we were playing in a tiny, sleazy venue in Los Angeles.
Hello, kids. I'm gonna make you stars.
Talking about terror? Oh, I mean Trevor? See? It's like his name was meant for a crooked manager role. I'm just spitting straight facts here, guys.
Where do you dream of playing? Just name it. In the forum?
That's a little too ambitious.
I'll make it happen. Sky's the limit for us.
Despite Moon and Luke's excitement, something didn't smell right to me, so I decided to keep an eye on Trevor. Follow that car! I always wanted to say that. I tailed him to the forum offices. Oh, tailed is what spies say when they follow someone. Too many spy novels, I guess. So, Trevor got out of his car, but returned as if he'd forgotten something. What could it be, you might ask? His briefcase? His parking permit? Maybe his wallet? Well, not exactly. A gun? Who brings a gun to a business meeting? It's like bringing a gun to a business meeting. I figured he was a little shady, but he was actually dangerous. After a while, he walked out of the meeting with a big smile and put his gun back in his suit. Oh my God! That night, after Trevor gave us the news that he got us a slot at the forum, I revealed what my fierce investigation had unmasked. It's over, Trevor. I saw your gun and how you used it to get us this concert. We can't be involved in something as dark as that.
Oh, you mean this?
Trevor pulled out his gun and pointed it directly at me. My life flashed before my eyes. Moon, Luke, and I screamed in terror as he pulled the trigger. To find out what happened next, join part 4 of this story. Now relax, I'm just kidding. Trevor fired, but all that came out of the gun was water. Phew, that was a close call. Well, maybe not really. Are you crazy? Why are you carrying this with you?
For protection, in case, a small cat attacks me.
And why did you use it in the meeting?
Oh, that! Those guys never water their plants. They were so dry, poor things.
Maybe I had misjudged him.
Still, if you don't want to be involved in something as dark as me, I understand. Maybe it's for the best.
No, Trevor, please don't take this personally. Alice is just like that.
Excuse me? Yes, we really want to work with you.
Great then. Are you in, Alice?
Outvoted, I had no choice but to accept Trevor. His impact was soon felt. He devised everything for us, from trying on silly, smelly costumes, which I'm sure he had stolen from the thrift store to keep the extra money for himself, to making us do some bizarre and really embarrassing publicity stunts. Yet, while I hated to admit it, he did take us to the next level. He even got us a record deal. Maybe he isn't all that bad. He certainly wasn't the worst thing that came with fame. Paparazzi were a real headache.
Hey, Alice, aren't you dating someone? People want to know about your love life.
Oh, it's a full-blown love triangle. Me, my couch, and my Apple. I mean, iPhone. Seriously? Can it get any cringier? Well, I know what you must be thinking. What about Juan and Camilo? You guys are so predictable. Okay, after I told him I was not ready for love, our paths simply parted. Camilo moved to the big city to try his luck as a poet, and Juan went back to South Korea.
I love this question. Let me tell you. Okay, so first you're gonna find the Stitch Fix styling quiz to send you pieces. You're gonna
I had accepted that love wasn't my thing, and I was fine with that. Really, I was. But it seems that not everybody was.
Alice, people are interested in you and your love life. We must give them something.
And before I could say anything, Trevor launched his enormous Find Alice a Boyfriend operation. When he was choosing from the pictures, from his looks, you'd think he was attempting to assemble an atomic bomb. I wish you people would stop meddling in my love life. You're one to talk.
Fair point.
Must I suffer all my life for that one time I played Cupid? Besides, you two are practically soulmates. I only intervened in the name of true love.
Maybe Trevor will find you your soulmate.
If he does, he deserves a Nobel Prize in matchmaking. Haha, very funny.
Bingo! We found our man. Get ready, Alice.
Trevor orchestrated a date with one of the buzziest actors in town. Naturally, he gave the paparazzi a heads up, turning the dinner into a spectacle that rivaled rivaled the Super Bowl coverage. I won't deny that he was good looking. The man could make any Greek god jealous, but he seemed to be already in a committed and very toxic relationship with his phone. It was like they were stuck in a never-ending staring contest. If a UFO landed on the table, he'd probably just assume it was dessert. So, tell me something about yourself.
I have 5 million followers.
Wow, I'd be concerned if that many were following me. That's next level stalking.
Alice, when's the wedding?
This was beyond ridiculous. I needed a bulletproof escape plan. Something as sophisticated and brilliant as my mastermind can scheme. Hey, isn't that one of the Kardashians?
A Kardashian? Where?
I took advantage of the commotion to sneak out, but just as I was about to fulfill my genius escape, I bumped into a waiter sending his tray flying in the air. It landed on the head of my date. Oh my god, I'm so... Camillo? Is that you?
Alicia, hi. What are you doing here?
I was super surprised to see Camillo, but I had to move fast. I'm actually in the midst of an escape. Care to help me?
Absolutely.
Camillo wheeled over a waiter's cart covered with a tablecloth.
Your chariot awaits, Your Majesty.
I hopped in the cart, and Camillo carried me unnoticed out of the restaurant. After we were in the clear, we two went for a walk.
By the way, I must confess, I'm a massive fan.
Oh, thank you so much.
People don't believe me when I tell them we used to date.
Do you tell people that?
Well, I know we didn't exactly date, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just expressing my wishes out loud.
Are you flirting with me right now?
I am. Who knows when I'll cross paths again with another star, especially with one as strikingly beautiful as you.
He was going all in. I tried to play it cool. That's smooth, but I'm not gonna fall for it that easily. I did. I'm not the same girl I was a couple of years ago. I was. Besides, I know you have a way with words. He did.
You know what they say, nothing worthy is ever easy.
Of course. My inner fireworks were about to start a pyrotechnic show that could rival New Year's Eve. I know, guys. I'm too weak. The rest of the night, we walked around the city just talking. It was pretty magical. The next day, Trevor woke me up.
Alice, who the hell is this?
Trevor pointed out a couple of pictures of Camillo and me walking through the city last night. Damn paparazzi. They got me again. Just an old friend.
TV and social media are going nuts over these photos. Just read these headlines. Drummer ditches movie star for poet waiter. This is genius. I am a genius.
I was about to remind him that it wasn't his idea when he went off on a long rant about how Camillo and I needed to start dating for the sake of the band. Well, I hated Trevor butting into my life like that. Dating Camillo didn't seem like a bad idea at all. For the sake of the band, of course. Over the next few weeks, Camillo and I became a thing, and Trevor's scheme worked like a charm. Strangely, every little thing we did became big news that the whole country should know. Look where we are now. Camillo's really turned things around for us. Yeah, but Camillo's writing is taking off too. It's a whole thing, though it felt strange to me. But we were too caught up in enjoying all the attention to bother about it.
Guys, you guys are breaking the internet right now. Any advice for your followers? Just be great. Be as incredible as we are.
We know that's a pretty high bar. Yeah, I know. I wanted to pinch myself too. But dealing with fame was hard. Everyone wanted a piece of you. And soon, all this glitz and glamour also got between Moon, Luke, and me.
You're late again.
Sorry, loves. We play in Rochester in a few days. We need to rehearse. I'm here, aren't I? Try to relax a little bit, kid. Kid? We've done hundreds of shows. It's a walk in the park. It isn't just another show. It's our first home show since we left. Kwan is even coming back from Korea with his new girlfriend for this. It has to be perfect. The mention of Kwan and a girlfriend struck a chord with me. He had a girlfriend now? Or was she? Why didn't Moon tell me this earlier? Why wasn't he thinking of me? I was beyond angry. What the hell, Moon? Why are you throwing Kwan and his girlfriend in my face?
She was not throwing...
This is clearly not about the show. Of course it is. What else would it be about? This is about you two being jealous of me and Camillo. This is about you not bearing to be under my shadow. Oh my god, you're completely delusional. Oh yeah? You two are completely... I couldn't think of a good enough adjective, so I simply stormed out. What I didn't realize was that Trevor was standing on the side, just watching the drama unfold.
Don't stress. You don't need anyone. I think you could even go solo.
What?
I mean, everybody knows you're the heart of the band. You're gonna do great things by yourself. I just know it.
Oh, shut up. I knew Trevor was trying to manipulate me, but he wasn't all wrong. The band thing was not working. We were always fighting, and I had Camillo. What was the point of continuing? Okay, let's do it. We decided it was best to keep it a secret until after the show in Rochester, which would be our last. I had fears, doubts, and a lot of anxiety, but Camillo managed to calm me down.
I'll be right there at your side.
Finally, the day of the show had arrived, my relationship with Luke and Moon was more strained than ever. To avoid them, I went to the side of the stage. The arena was packed. Everybody we knew was there. Luke's family, Moon's dad, even the goth girl was present. Wait, where's Dad? I tried to locate my father in the VIP and the crowd, but it was like finding Waldo. When even Camillo, who was supposed to bring Dad, didn't answer my calls, I started freaking out. Something felt really off. Soon after, Camillo called me from the hospital and told me there had been an accident. What? How?
I was late. Then I saw your dad's accident on the way, so I followed him to the hospital. But your dad is fine. He's resting now.
Why did nobody call me?
They said they called his emergency contact.
I'm on my way. I ran to the dressing room to grab my things. Guys, I have to go. My dad is in the hospital.
Your dad?
What happened? I explained everything, and despite our fight, Moon and Luke hugged me tightly.
Alice, I'll drive you.
Due to my shock, I hadn't noticed that Quan was there. He looked even more attractive than before. Quan, snap out of it, girl. Let's go.
Whoa, Alice, stop! The show's about to start.
She needs to be at the hospital.
Family comes first, always. As she said that, I felt horrible. They were my family, and I was backstabbing them.
I don't care about your family. This is the most important show ever. We're gonna tape it for a movie. It's the farewell concert. Do you know how much money we're gonna lose?
After saying it, Trevor closed his mouth so tightly that his lips seemed to have magnets on them. Farewell concert?
Oh, it's not a big deal. Breakups sell well, and we'll have 3 products instead of 1.
Both Luke and Moon looked at me. If looks could kill, I'd be 6 feet under right now. Dad, oh my God, are you okay? What happened?
Oh, it's just a silly accident, but I'm okay.
I'm coming to see you.
What? All those people are there to see you. You're gonna play and rock that gig.
But
No buts, Missy. Afterward, you can come see me. Not like I'm going anywhere. Rock it for your old man.
okay, Dad, I love you.
You heard Dad, kids. Let's do it. It's showtime.
We went on stage, and the tension was crazy. I could feel Luke and Moon's hateful glares. It was as if Cyclops from the X-Men was looking at me without his glasses. The show was about to start, but I refused to be like those old dinosaur rock bands where everyone hated each other. So I did something I never did. I stepped up to the microphone. No, don't freak out. I'm not gonna sing. Hi, Rochester. I want to dedicate this show to my family, to my dad, who needs to stop riding his bike at night, and to my siblings, Luke and Moon. No one has taught me as much about love and friendship as you two have. I love you, and I'm sorry, guys. Luke and Moon smiled at me. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time to rock. Then the show finally started, and it was simply incredible. Luke, Moon, and I played like it was the first time in my garage. The show was, without a shadow of a doubt, our best. After that, we 3 reconciled in a big embrace. While they were still angry, at least now it didn't look like they were going to scheme to murder me. Shortly after, Trevor joined us. Oh, Trevor, just the man we were looking for.
What?
Should we share the honors, guys? At the count of 3. 3, 2, 1.
You are fired, kid.
Trevor tried to manipulate and scare us with threats, but when we were together, that didn't work. That's why he wanted to split the band. He knew he could control us if we were divided.
You're making a huge mistake. This is not over.
Can you close the door on your way out? Thanks! We went to see my dad, and apart from a few scratches and a large cast on his leg, he was fine. You'd think I now had everything, and you'd be right. I had my band and friends back, my dad was okay, and I had my boyfriend. It was finally time for my lived happily ever after moment. Well, that lasted for about 2 seconds. Literally. Someone suddenly burst into the hospital room. Babe, are you all right? Mom? Babe, what are you doing? Alice. Well, I guess now I know who his emergency contact was. My mom looked at me smiling, but when she saw Camillo, her face completely transformed. Alice, get away from him. I was beyond confused. I looked at Camillo. His face revealed that he had something to confess. I imagine your faces right now are exactly like mine at that moment. Once again, fate had a curveball for me. But this is running too long. I know no one likes cliffhangers, but you know what they say, nothing worthy is ever easy.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think that's it for y'all. Make sure y'all hit like, subscribe, and comment down below what video do y'all want me to react to next. And this is Johnny Hub signing off.